Recording is
Ifunanya
on.
of Apply Ease. Ifunanya is a multi-talented professional working at the intersection of law, content writing, and product design. And is also a co-founder at Apply Ease. She has a deep understanding of how to craft the documents that get you noticed. She's here to talk to us about the suit, the modern CV, and portfolio. Ifunanya, thank you very much. The stage is yours.
Hello, good evening. Can you hear me?
Yes, we can hear you. Please go ahead. Thank you.
Hello, good evening, everyone. My name is Ifunaya Anado, and I'm a co-founder at Apply Is. So, first of all, I'll just briefly explain what we do at Apply Is. So, at Apply Is, we help you craft your CV, um, your LinkedIn profiles. We optimize that, and we also go ahead to help you do your job application. So everything that concerns job application management, we do that at Apply Is. Today, I'm here to share how to, think about your CV and your portfolio as your professional suit, and how to make sure it fits well and enough to open doors for you. So I don't know. Can I share my screen here?
Yeah, sure. Please go ahead. Thank you.
Okay, I'm not seeing the option to share. No, I'm not.
Hi. So can you check like the options down? Do you see like a desktop with a curved arrow?
Mm, no.
Is this document linked? Can you share it to us and then we'll share?
Okay.
That's good.
Okay, while we are waiting to handle that, I've posted the link to our Twitter handle on the chat. So let's do well to tag, follow, make a post concerning this event. Leave me value will be disbursed here. So while we are waiting for the technical issues with the slides, let's do well to follow up. Thank you very much.
Hi everyone. Sorry for the delay. I think we're still trying to figure out if an our slide. Yeah, it's a bit orthodox that I'm sorry, unorthodox that we're using Jitsi, and believe me, it's not for any reason other than the fact that Jitsi allows us record directly to YouTube as opposed to Google Meet or Zoom. Zoom is far off the curve. I think that one requires certain payments, and it might not be very ideal. Yeah, cool. So just give us a little minute and we should be on the way. Thank you for your patience.
Hi, Fnai, have you sent in the slides? Let me see. You can send it to the email, or if it's a link, you can share it here and then I'll share.
Okay, hello. Can you hear me?
Yes, I can hear you clearly.
Yes, we can hear you.
Um, I was the call it kicked me out. So I found a way to I found the screen sharing stuff. So I'll just do that instead. Is that fine?
Yes, please go ahead. That's perfect.
Yes, sir.
Okay. Okay, can you see my screen?
Yes, we can.
Okay. So so the topic for today is tailoring your professional suits, the modern CV and portfolio. So we all know first impression matters with everything, basically. So the recruiters they decide quickly. So your CV has to be tailored. It has to be like a tailor suit. And we all know that everybody have different sizes. Your I could be a size 8 and the next person is a size 10. So I can't wear the same clothes as a size 6, and neither can a size 6 wear the same clothes as me. So you have to obviously make your clothes to fit you. You have to make your clothes to be your body size. The same goes for CV. So one size does not fit all. You need to personalize it. You need to think of your CV as your professional outfit for the interview. So let's just dive in. So why should you tailor your CV? Why it matters? So number one, the recruiters, they scan your CV within 6 to 8 seconds. So they only spend probably less than even me self as I'm talking to you. If you send your CV to me, I would spend less than 8 seconds to be honest on your CV. And if something catches my attention, then I will continue. If not, I am going to drop it. So your first impression is very critical to catch their attention and to keep them so that they can, read through your entire CV, your entire work. So you need to avoid generic CV. You need to, make sure that your CV is clear and your relevance is specified very well. So customizing your CV ensures that your skills and achievements are clearly presented and professionally aligned with the role. So when creating your CV, you need to make sure that you've gone through the job description. You've read through it. You're like, you know everything that they need from you. And so you go ahead to craft your CV accordingly. So you need to tailor your CV according to what the job needs. Now, if the job needs, let's say you have a job that requires development, and you have like everything you've done, you need to make sure that all the items, all the skills, everything you're writing is tailored according to the company. You have to make sure that it is tailored accordingly, because it's they don't just throw out any CV them and they will catch it, and then you have to make sure that it aligns. It's not like you're lying or you're saying anything. You're just making sure that you're aligning what you do according to what they need, which is already, obviously, if you're a front end engineer, you're already doing most of the things that they wrote, most of the things that they require for the job. So you just have to make sure that you're presenting that very well on your CV, which is why you need to tailor it according to the job requirements. And it also helps improve ATS and recruiter success. So when we all know about ATS scanning that most companies use, so they just pass your resume on the ATS software, and then it picks up keywords, picks up your skills, make sure it matches with the job, and then it gives them how many percentage, depending on how many percentage your resume scores, then they will know if they will move on with you or if they won't. So tailoring your CV helps you pass that initial stage before you can even speak to anybody next. So what makes a modern CV? So number one, you need to use clear formatting for easy readability. So your layouts, it needs to be clean. Work with white space. Make sure that the CV is easy to read. Make sure that it's not clustered. There's not a lot of things happening. Maybe you put images here and there, and then it's distracting the recruiter from what you actually want, the information you actually want to pass. Number two, you have to write impact driven bullet points. Now, I usually work like this. When I'm crafting a CV, it's usually three steps for me. Number one, what did he do? What did they do? Number two, how did they do it? Or what skills did they apply doing it? Number three, what results, the impact, the business impact for the company? Because at the end of the day, any company that wants to hire you wants to make sure that you're going to, drive, like there's going to be something that you give back to them. You're going to give them some, like, business impact. Everything that you're going to do in the company is going to bring them money, whether you like it or not. So you need to make sure that you highlight those key points. Incorporate relevant keywords. This is, you need to add keywords. So if they're asking for a front end engineer that um let's say but if they write things like you need collaborative, industrious, all of those things, you need to make sure that they are seen in your resume. You need to make sure that those things are there, because by the time it is passed through the ATS software, it's going to make sure that all those keywords, those are the things that it calculates to give you your percentage. So you need to make sure that you add all those things so that you pass that first stage. um yeah, adopt simple and modern design. Obviously, like I said earlier, let it not be a lot of things. Just make sure that you go straight to the point, make it professional, make it look good. Just sometimes less is more. um yeah. So an example, this is a generic CV bullet. Worked on backend system. Some people will write, okay, something like worked on backend system to help. I don't really know much about backend stuff, but like you can maybe say something like worked on backend system to help boost company something, 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 something. That is not going to get. That's not even interesting. So you need to make sure that you tailor it to be impact driven. So you can say something like, my example, build back end system with, you can even mention what exactly you built. I don't really know much about it, but you can mention it, and then you say with, the next thing is what you used, the programming language or the skill you applied there to build the system. And then what did it then result to? Reducing API response time by 40%. So you see that there is the what they did, which is the building of the backend system. Then there is the skill that was applied for that, which is the Node.js and the other one. And then there is the results, business impact. All these things result to, like, reducing API response time by 40%, which will in turn help the business or the company. So the next one, your portfolio. So basically, your portfolio is going to be like the fabric to show that your CV is real. So you need to make sure that your portfolio matches what is on your CV. So your portfolio should demonstrate real achievements, not just descriptions. You need to make sure that everything you wrote on your CV is practicalized on your portfolio. We can see links to the the websites you built, or if you're a writer, the websites where you wrote the thing, the blogs, whatever it is. We need to see it. We need to make sure that, oh, what you're writing on the CV that you did and you achieved so thing is going to reflect on there, and it's going to very easy. I will see it immediately I go on there, and it's going to be exactly the same thing I am seeing on your CV. So you include projects, case studies, outcome, everything. Make sure that you package it in well enough, and make sure that it is aligning with your CV also. I always tell people your LinkedIn is also like your portfolio. Your LinkedIn is very, very important, because I've seen cases where during job application for clients, you see the recruiters, they come, you see from that job, maybe after applying today, I see the recruiters, they come to check out the person's profile, or what is this person doing, is it the same thing that they said on their CV, is it reflecting on their LinkedIn? So LinkedIn is one of the most important um places you can showcase your work. It is a portfolio on its own for me. I always tell people that. So even if you have, as a designer, you have your Behance, you have whatever, your LinkedIn should also, at least to some extent, express, show that you're a designer, even if it's just to post some of the works you do and all of that, or even if you're a front end engineer, anything, just say stuff on your LinkedIn, because they usually check it, and make sure that it is well optimized. Your profile is showcasing everything you've done, is showing every, you can even add more things there. The things you didn't add on your CV, you can add more things there, just to make sure that it looks, you know, up to par. And then, yeah, I've talked about consistency. It has to be the same with your CV, what you're writing on your CV. Then common mistakes to avoid. You need to avoid using the same CV for every application. Now, like I said earlier, I've been saying this, your CV has to be tailored to the job. So if you're applying for this particular job today, you make sure that the CV is aligning with what the job requires. The next day you're applying for another one, you change it up, switch it up, make sure that it aligns with what the next job is requesting for. Then exclude irrelevant or outdated details. So some people have this need to, add everything, probably even add marketing under front end or something. There is no need. We It's okay that you've worked on many sectors. Sometimes it's even good, because then we can see that you're diversified, you have many distance. But as at this moment, you need to just show that particular thing. Don't add any other thing. Just keep your CV focused on the job role. Include measurable outcomes in bullet points. Yes, like I've said before, you can use percentage. You can say, oh, thousands of users have used um, have, used the app I built, this, that. Just make sure that they are measurable. Make sure that we can actually see what you've done. We can count, we can say, oh yes, this is what this person has done. And this is how much the impact has, brought about. Then avoid text overload. So don't just like in maybe I keep my like work experience bullet points to just a maximum of five. That's if the person has done a lot or probably they've worked in the company for a long time. Maximum of five, minimum of three. Then update your CV. Always update it as you're working. You're adding more things. You're removing the other ones that are not relevant. Customize it always. Your portfolio too. You're adding things. Once you're done with a particular job, you're adding it to your portfolio because these are the things that the recruiters are seeing. These are the things that will make them be like, oh yes, we need this person for this job. Yeah, strategic approach to tailoring your CV and portfolio. Analyze the job description, identify the skills and keywords to target the role effectively. So you have to look through the job description very well, the company too. You have to look through all these things. Customize your CV bullet points. Make sure that they align with what you've searched, the research you've done. Design has to be clean. Align your portfolio content to match your CV. Then you review. You can even get your own ATS scanner. Scan it. Make sure that it is the results is good enough before you send it out. So real world impact metrics. So 6 to 8 seconds, like I said earlier, the recruiter will only look through your CV for 6 to 8 seconds, less than 8 seconds, to be honest. So you have to make sure that from your profile summary, I'm already seeing your worth. I'm already seeing what you can do. Um, yeah, measurable impact. I've said that before. Make sure you use percentage or you use like a number of people that have used your app, something like that. Filter your ATS filter for success rates. Yeah, I've said that before. Yeah, so just you need to have at least 3 to 5 portfolio projects. So you add all of those things on your portfolio. Make sure that they're aligning with your CV also. And yeah, that is all for today.
Okay, thank you very, very much for that insightful session. Took a lot of notes. I hope each and every one of us took a lot of notes. And I would like to ask a question, sort of an icebreaker before the next speaker. You spoke a lot about, considering the amount of time that recruiters spend on the CV and how it's so small that it's very difficult to go through what that person has completely. What would you say is like a sort of a red flag, sorry, that stands out a bit too much within that time frame, right? Something you can put on your CV that even in that 6 to 8 seconds is so much of a red flag that once the person sees it, they don't bother again. Something like a flight risk. How do we cut off those ones that stand out, considering the little amount of time we have to make an impression on the recruiter?
Okay, so the first thing I would say is your profile summary. So for me, your profile summary has to be very small. So I see some profile summary, they take up to like 7 lines. Oh my God, that is overwhelming. So the minute I'm seeing it, I'm already overwhelmed. I don't have the energy to even start looking down. So it immediately gets me off. If I were a recruiter and I see that I'm going to be overwhelmed, so you keep it short. I would always advise 3 lines, 3 lines, 2 sentences. That's enough. Just make it short and then go ahead to your work experience. So don't start from the beginning to overwhelm the person. Don't do too much immediately.
Okay, thank you very, very much for that. That was really insightful. All right, now that we have our suit tailored, let's understand the mindset behind making an impact. Our next speaker is Tobechukwu Udogo. Tobechukwu is a builder, a product manager, and a DeFi maxi who shares actionable insights on early DeFi protocols and airdrops. He lives and breathes the process of building products and teams, and he'll be here to take us inside the hiring manager's mind. Tobechuku, welcome. The floor is yours.
Hello, guys. My absolute pleasure to be here. Hope you guys are learning. Hope you guys are learning a lot already from the first speaker. If we are learning, please put your hands up. Let's see. Let me see some hands up, please. I would like to see some hands up. Thank you, Paul. Thank you, Paul. I'd like to see some hands up. Very, very nice. Thank you guys so much for being active and participating actively in this discourse. So yeah, my name is Tobichukwu Dogu. I'm a builder, um, both in the Web 2 and the Web 3 space. I'm also an entrepreneur. Ventured into start doing my own startup and all, but you know how startup is in the country. So you fail, you learn, and then you move further. I have about 4-5 years experience in product management, as well as project management, also. Um, so before I even go into sharing my slide or asking the team to share my slide, I would just like to ask a quick question. How many of us has gotten to a point in an interview or applied for a job we feel so confident about? Like you see this job description and you feel confident that yes, this job is for me. How many of us? Can I see some hands? Can I see some hands? Exactly. You and how did it feel when you finally applied for that job and you got the either you got complete rejection or you were not even you didn't even hear back from them. I know I have most recently even exactly. So these are some of the challenges that we will be discussing today in this section. Okay, please can you put up the slide so I can just dive right into it immediately. Guys, can you help me with the slide, please? Okay. While they are putting up the slide, um, we would like to. I would like to just say a few words first. Your resume or your suit, as the case may be, is the first point of contact that you have with an employer, right? So the way you tailor your resume, the way you tailor your profile online, speaks volume of how employers or recruiters are going to perceive you. So it's all about perception, right? I have a friend of mine that got into, he's an Andelan. I don't know if any of us here know Andela. He's an Andelan. And this, my friend did not have 5 years, 6 years experience in coding, right? Just like what the first speaker said, it's all about packaging. Actually, it's mostly 80% packaging. It depends on how you structure your CV, how you structure the contents of your CV, and how you present yourself, both online and during your interview. So, like she said, your LinkedIn is key. Your LinkedIn is very, very key. I don't I won't I did not even mind paying somebody to help me optimize my LinkedIn because, and to be very honest, for the past 3 jobs or the past 3 product teams I've worked with, I got those jobs from LinkedIn. So the way you position your LinkedIn or the way you position yourself online, be it your about page, be it the way you format your job experiences, the projects you've worked with, the content you put up on LinkedIn. Each of these frontiers are key to help you position properly for um, for um, for your tech career. So let me quickly just go to my slide. I don't know if the team have put it up, but I have it here. So I will just See if guys, can we put it up or should I?
Yeah, give a moment. There's been a little bit of technical difficulty. All right, your slide is
Okay,
up now.
thank you very much. So why positioning matters? You see, your resume is not equals to your value. Okay. A lot of us live under this illusion that our resume is top, or maybe we've paid somebody to fix our resume for us, and then we feel like we've done the work. Your resume does not speak entirely of your value. So this is where most of the actions you take post your resume come into account, like your online presence, right? How much of what you know do people know you know? I don't know if that makes sense. So, for instance, you are a software developer, yeah, and you are just building in silos, right? And you are not putting up those stuff you are building online for people to see it. It's just more or less a product team. A product team success is measured by how much of the product is in the customer's hand. So, in that same vein, the value of what you offer as an applicant comes from the value people perceive from what you've done, not just on your resume, because what you have in your resume is just a piece of paper. But when they come online and then they see, oh, you have this amount of comments online, you are quite active, you are posting about the work you are doing, you are quite active online, that is a very big plus in the mind of a hiring manager. So, like I said here, hiring managers look beyond keywords, right? Why you might be beating. Okay, let me even tell you guys a story. I recently applied for a job that was like 4 or 5 months ago, right? And I did not. The ATS system did not flagged off my resume. But guess what? I got a DM from the hiring manager herself. She's based in Georgia, United States. She reached out to me personally to say, "Oh, I'm sorry, our ATS flagged off your resume, but there was just something peculiar about your profile, and that's why I decided to reach out to you personally for this job opportunity. Why? Because I'm quite active on LinkedIn. I post about the work I do. I post about product management, project management. I talk about how project management and AI, building an online presence will also help the hiring manager have clarity on what you can bring to the team and what you can offer to the team, right? So in their mind, or in the mind of a hiring manager, they're asking this one question: can this person solve my team's problem and deliver measurable results? Right? So what you should be looking at is, for every job you've done, you are looking at what are the impacts, or what are the measurable impacts that I can take away from this job. It might be a freelance job, it might be a personal project, right? It doesn't really matter. All that matters is you frame your resume, or you frame your output as a measurable result. So, for instance, you built a project, nobody has really used the project. You can, as a developer, you can say that while you are testing, or while you are conducting some regression test, you got about so percentage of this from that project. Or maybe you could say that the speed of the project, or what, there's a term for it. Just put something that is measurable, something that shows that, okay, this person has taken their time to test out this stuff and present with us a measurable result, to show that they've given us some measurable results, right? So what are the things that hiring managers really evaluate, right? One is that they evaluate your evidence of impact. What outcomes have you driven, not just tasks? The last speaker mentioned this. You're not just listing, oh, I did this or I did that. Those stuff you did, right? How were they impactful? How did they change the trajectory of the business? Or how did they change the trajectory of the organization you are working with, right? Number two is context alignment. Have you solved problems similar to ours? So this boils down to tailoring your CV based on the job description you are applying for. So if you are applying for a job as a in fintech, right, and you've done something in fintech, right, then you are now aligning the job you've done previously to that organization. So you are applying for Money Point, but you've worked before previously at OP. These are similar organizations, right, or similar companies. So you channel most of the results you've driven while working at Money Point or at OP to applying for a job at Money Point. That automatically puts you way ahead of other applicants because you are not just applying randomly. It shows that you've taken your time to understand the organization, understand what they are looking out for, and see how the job you've done before can fit into what they actually need. So that is what that context alignment means. Number three is story consistency. Does your resume, your LinkedIn, and interview tell one clear narrative? So it is very important that that's why I said even if you don't even put up your LinkedIn profile or the link to your LinkedIn on your on your resume, some recruiters have the time to actually go ahead and search for your resume for your profile online because I mean your full name is on your link is on your resume, right? So you have to make sure that your LinkedIn, your resume, and peradventure you move on to an interview, you have a consistency across everything you are saying. So you don't want to be in a position where on your LinkedIn you are saying that, oh, you worked 5 years, and then on your resume you are showing 3 years, or your total experience on your LinkedIn is saying 5 years or 10 years, and then on your resume is showing 4 years or 5 years. So you need to make sure that you have that consistency across board. Because when you don't do that, then you are coming off as dubious. You are coming off as okay, you did not really put effort into what you are doing, or you are not really clear about what you are doing, or you are not actually um, giving the impact or giving the output you claim to have, right? Um, and then you also need to understand that you need to also show what you have, like what stuff you are made up of. Like you need to make sure that your skill sets are well outlined, right? If you could even I think I saw a resume some time ago of a guy that he designed a website for his resume and then imputed some snippets of lines of code that he actually did on his own. Like it was I can't really put it in context, but it was quite lovely to see, right? Um Please over to the next slide. Okay, so now we're looking at strategic positioning framework, the 3 Ps. One is you need to productize yourself, right? Treat your career as a product. Know your unique value proposition. What are your strengths? If it's possible, one of my managers recently asked us to do a SWOT analysis on our personality, right? So, what are your strengths? What are your weaknesses? What are the opportunities in your weaknesses? What are the threats to the opportunities in your weaknesses? So, by the time you take cognizance of your unique value proposition, what you have as an applicant that will make you stand out from every other applicant, you need to focus on that. You need to hone in on your strengths, and while also highlighting a little bit of your weakness. For instance, you're somebody who you are quite motivated, but during certain time of the day you feel a bit less motivated or something like that. So you need to be able to articulate your value in a way that makes it stand out, so your strength shines brightly. But also talking about your weaknesses also shows the hiring manager that okay, you have taken the time to study yourself, study your output, and be able to articulate very well where your strength lies and what your strengths are not. So that gives the hiring manager a very unique perspective about you and shows that you have done your homework on yourself, right? The second one is the proof of impact, just like I mentioned earlier. Use metrics and outcomes, not duties. For instance, you increase retention by 15%. You just don't say, oh, I manage retention. So using metrics and outcomes shows that you shows the real value that you can add to the organization. Let's say, for instance, the organization currently is having a retention metric of 3%, right? And then you're coming on your resume to say you've increased retention at your former workplace by 15%. They will look at it, okay, currently right now our retention metrics is 3%. This person has done 15%, and in this organization, that shows value. That shows that okay, this person has what it takes to increase the retention metric of our organization. So that's a point that the hiring manager will consider. Number three is presence. Exactly what I said the last time. Build your digital presence. LinkedIn, communities, thought leadership, so your story is discoverable. There's something LinkedIn was doing. I think LinkedIn is still doing it. It's the LinkedIn thought leadership, where they give you a badge when you consistently talk about a particular topic, and then they give you a badge to showcase that you are a thought leader in this space. That is a very good badge, or a very good aspiration to look out for. I once had the product management badge for close to 4 weeks until I kind of like I got busy and all. But trust me, when you have that badge on LinkedIn, right? For LinkedIn to actually build that future and include it on their product shows how important it is for you to build a digital presence for yourself, right? So make post on LinkedIn, go on LinkedIn, post about the things you are, even if you are learning, even if you're in the process of learning a new skill, talk about it on LinkedIn, right? Recruiters want to see stuff like that. They want to see that you are not just stagnant where you are. Or for instance, you've attained a senior developer role, and then you're no longer open to learning, right? Recruiters want to know that this person is open to learning. This person can grow. This person can be taught. This person is open to advancing their skill set, right? So build your digital presence by continually engaging in communities, following thought leaders, making comments on thought leaders posts, making a post of your own, writing on blogs, making yourself known out there. Like I told you guys, the last 3 jobs I got on LinkedIn, I've worked with, I got those jobs on LinkedIn. And how did I go about it? I started posting a lot about on LinkedIn about product management, the skills I'm learning, some of the projects I'm working on the side. I was so engrossed in it. And one day I got a DM from a founder. He said, "Hey, I like what you're doing. I see how committed you are with the product management. Would you like to come and work with And the conversation went smoothly. And that is the case for like two other jobs. The other one was a direct referral from a connection I made on LinkedIn. And then the third one was also a direct referral from a connection I made on LinkedIn. And nobody is going to recommend you if they don't think that you are capable of doing the job. And how do they know you're capable of doing the job? Because I've never met them, right? It's because they see your post, they see the things you are doing online, they see how active you are with your engagements online. And that could actually open the door for you to for them to say, okay, I know somebody who can do this job based off what I've seen them do or what I perceive of them. So at the end of the day, it's all about perception. And if you present yourself well online, people will perceive you to be a thought leader, and people will give opportunities to you openly. So final takeaway is your resume is equals to your suit, and the positioning of how you do your resume and your online presence is will tell the confidence and the story behind it. Number two is hiring managers remember impact, not just job titles. So they want to remember you increase retention by 50% at your old organization. What are you going to do in this new organization, right? And then remember to always have a single story. Your LinkedIn, your resume, your interviews, they all have a single story. This cannot be overemphasized. Make sure that all your if you are having an interview, you are well articulated. Go through your resume, go through your LinkedIn, make sure that they are all one. They are all telling the same story, and that will just give you better leverage than the ordinary people. Then number three is like think like a product manager, right? Iterate, A/B test your profile, and gather feedback. What does that mean? When you send out resumes and you are getting a lot of rejection, go back and look at your resume. Find um, find a way to optimize your resume. And one way you can do that is, let's say for instance you applied for a job at Money Point, right, or OPay, and you didn't get the job. You actually submitted and didn't get the job, and then you saw that that job has been filled. You can go on LinkedIn, right? Go to the organization, search for product managers. They're going to give you the list of all the product managers working in that organization. You can then search for the person that recently joined that organization, and you can engage them in a conversation. Ask them, "Oh, congratulations for joining. I saw you just recently joined Money Point. Congratulations. I actually applied for this job and I wasn't paid. Can you go ahead and tell me exactly what you did or how you went about your job interview that was able to get you into the job?" These are ways you could iterate on your product, on I say on your product, on your resume, right? By the time you hear that feedback, they said, okay, this is what I did, or they can maybe share their resume to you. You look at their resume, you see the gaps, be it the knowledge gaps or the experience gap or the skill gap that they have that you don't have. You can then fill up those skill gap and optimize your resume. So that is what that iterate means. Then A/B test your profile means, and when you optimize your resume, or you optimize your LinkedIn, you can go ahead to um, um, do a simulation. You could ask maybe someone in your connection to look at your LinkedIn, let a person tell you exactly what they feel about it on first impression. So, for instance, the moment I go on your LinkedIn, what is the first impression I get about your LinkedIn? Do I see you as someone who is active? Do I see you as someone who is a thought leader? Do you see you as someone who is engaged in community? Do I see you as someone who is professional about their job? Do I see you as someone who has what it takes to work in or in my organization? These are the thoughts that um, hiring managers have in their head when they go on your profile or on your LinkedIn. So make sure you always test your LinkedIn profile by asking questions with people that are above you in your field, or by getting a professional LinkedIn reviewer to review your LinkedIn. Or you could use AI. Funny enough, most of these things you could use AI. Copy your LinkedIn profile, go on ChatGPT, ask ChatGPT to rate your profile on a scale of 1 to 10, and bring out and kind of like analyze where exactly you need to optimize your LinkedIn in order to get a better hit, right? So you could actually use AI for this stuff. AI is making life very, very easier for everybody. So you could actually use AI to A/B test your profile, and then most importantly, gather feedback and then come back to iterate. So that when you gather the feedback from AI or from thought leaders, you implement them on your CV or your resume on your profile, and then you go back to iterate. That means you apply for job and see what the result is going to be. I assure you, you implement these thought processes actively into your CV, into your resume, you are bound to get considerable result moving forward. Thank you very much. Thank you very much, guys, for your time.
Thank you very, very, very much for that impactful session. Wow, wow, wow. How much of what you know do people know you know? Right? That's your digital presence. How well are you expressing your knowledge in the public? Your CV doesn't have as much reach as your handles, your LinkedIn, your X, and whatnot. Wow, that's really wonderful. And as you know, we have, or I have rather, just a question. You have experience building product teams, and it involves hiring for roles that you may not really be too knowledgeable about yourself. Now, my question is, as somebody who is applying to a product manager or a team or a builder or a team owner that I know doesn't really have much of the technical know-how concerning my role, how do I beat the queue to the top picks, especially considering how much internal referrals gives like an advantage? How do I present myself as a top pick to someone like a product owner or a builder, who may not necessarily have all the technical know-how? What do you look out for when people apply? Thank you.
Thank you very much for that question. The first thing they look out for, I would look out personally for me, is um, what have you done ever? What have you done, right? Because product managers are also builders. So you need to build. For let's say, for instance, you are an entry level product manager, right? The best way to get your foot into the door is by building. Or I remember in my days when I was coming up, I used to do a lot of product tear down. So I will pick a product, I will tear down the product, I will work collaboratively with a product designer, come up with new designs about that product, post it on LinkedIn, get comments. So be a builder. When the difference from you and every other person is what you have done, not what you say you have done. So I need to see what you have done. And by the time you are presenting clearly, maybe in form of a portfolio to say, okay, while I am just an entry level, I have taken my time to learn this, to do this and this and this and that. That is a clear outlier for any hiring manager in a product team to say, okay, this person has what it takes to actually build or to actually build a product. Because then if you are obviously a bit higher, maybe you're an intermediate level product manager and you want to join the product team, that is where your resume and your online presence keys in, right? So your resume tells the story of what you've done, using your metrics, using your impact. Then your online presence talks about who you are and how committed or how much of an influence you have around your field, right? People, and this is exactly why influencer marketing influencers are actually a big deal in our community today, in our society
Hey
today.
guys, so
Because
sorry. It's been a difficult time fixing this whole thing. This is my first time using this platform, so I tried to use the other end just to be sure I got acquainted with it, but it hasn't been working so well for me. But I'm here now, so we're good to go.
Hi Felix. Sorry about that. We had someone going. Sorry, Tobichiko, you could continue. Your session will begin shortly.
okay, hi
Uh,
Felix. Okay,
Yeah.
so like I said, you need to the two. It depends on your level anyway. So if you're an entry level, then you need to have a portfolio. You need to build. You need to get your hands dirty. If you are someone who has already built, working in an organization, and you want to go into a different organization, then you need to show impact. You need to show this is what I've done, where I'm coming from. These are the results from what I have done, where I'm coming from. This is where I am in my online community to show that I am a thought leader, to show that I have influence, right? And then lastly, you want to also show you also want to show personality. Um, People don't talk about this a lot, right? I have my brother in the UK who told me he did an interview, and then he did an interview with an organization. He got to the final stage, and then the organization sent him a message to tell him that they're not hiring him because they just felt like his personality did not match their organization. So you need to also have a very open yet professional personality, right? You need to make sure that you're not someone who is so uptight, who is so stringent, because especially in the product management field, a product manager is a community person because you are interfacing different departments, right? You're interfacing the development department, you're interfacing product design, you're interfacing marketing, you're interfacing sales, you're interfacing senior executive. So you need to have that temperament to be able to bring all these units together to make your product work. I don't know if that answers your question. Thank you very much.
Yes, thank you very, very much. That's You really answered the question and it was really insightful. Thank you very much. I appreciate. And now we have the suits, we have our mindset, we've learned how to put ourselves out there, steps to take, how to optimize our profiles. Now we are going to learn how to work. Our final speaker is Felix Bisong of Gen Z HR, the Gen Z HR himself. Now, Felix is a recruiter and HR professional at Gen Z HR. He specializes in understanding the human element of hiring and knows exactly what it takes to build a powerful professional brand. He's here to teach us about walking in the suit and commanding your digital presence. Felix, over to you. Welcome.
Hey guys, good good evening. I'm so sorry. A lot of things have been happening here, and I've been trying to quench a lot of fire around here as well. So sorry that um this is my current reality. I apologize for it. I've been planning for this session for a very long time now. I hope you can see my face. Can you see me, please? Hello. Can you see me, guys? Okay, great. People can see me. So I'm supposed to use my PC for this, but I'm using my phone right now because for some reason my PC is refusing to connect to the internet, and I don't know. And it's just so unfortunate. But I will try to share as much as I possibly can share here with you. And my camera will try to be turned on as well. And if you guys want me to turn on my camera, please let me know also, so I can go ahead and do it. I was asked to come here today to speak to you guys about a lot of things about strategic positioning for your tech careers, right? That's what I came here to talk to you about today. But I think just before I run into that, I I'm a big fan of I'm a big fan of any good devs. I don't know if anybody follows me on Twitter here. I am always once in a while trying to praise the any good dev community or tech community because of how I think that you guys work. You guys are like rock stars. You guys are like superstars. I've been to NSK before a couple times, obviously. Um, I've been to that hub inside NSK. I don't know what they call that hub. Can someone please remind me the name of that hub inside NSK? And I see the way you guys you just jumble yourself there, just pack yourself inside there and walk in and stuff. And I've been there a couple times, and it's always the same thing. Yes, inside NSK, and I always love the energy there, guys. So well done, shout out to you all. I hope that one day I can hire most of you, to work with me and to work with my clients as well. But great stuff you guys are doing over there. Shout out to all of you and well done. Um, I don't have so much time. I have like less than 20 minutes to run this, so I'll just quickly go ahead and share. Um, beyond the resume, what do you need to do in order to position your tech career properly? I'll just run through this, right? So I think that as young persons, as young people, we should never play around our careers. Right now people are talking a lot about careers right now. A lot of things are being said about careers. I think I can keep my phone somewhere while I just sit down and talk to you guys. Yes, thank you. I think that's better. Guys, can you hear me still?
Okay.
Great, great. So I think that as young people, it's very, very important to understand exactly how to position yourself. Um, how to move from point A to point B. But I'm sure that you know that moving is very strategic. It's not just moving and just moving. No, it's a very strategic. It's a very strategic thing to do. A lot of people apply for roles. They just apply. They treat application of jobs as a numbers game, but it's not a numbers game, right? Guys, please give me a second. Let me turn on this thing. One sec. Yeah, I'm back. So people treat people treat job application as a numbers game, but it's not a numbers game. Honestly, it's really not a numbers game. You know, um, so it is a strategy. It's a strategic game, if you ask me, right? So I'll be talking to you about a lot of these things here. Um, First of all, beyond the resume, right? Your resume is just one step. You know, resume is just really just one step, right? What do you do, outside that resume? Outside resume, what do you do? I think I'll be talking to us about this one here. I'll be talking to you about one of it is personal branding. You have learned a lot of things. You've built a lot of products. You've joined projects. Your GitHub is filled with massive projects that you have done. How can people see these things? How can people see what you're doing? I think that brings me to talking about personal branding. Which is your career currency, right? Personal branding is super important. Um, it is your career currency. I think personal branding. I started understanding personal branding like about 3 years ago. I took it a lot more serious about 3 years ago, or maybe about 2 years ago, right? 2 years ago actually. Because if I started doing personal brand like a long time ago when I knew about personal brand, I think I would have blown right now. I would have really, really blown right now. You know, but I didn't take it so serious then, right? Um, but I understood it about 2 years ago, and it's been fantastic for me, right? It's been super, super great for me. Um, I think personal branding is super important because it helps you to be seen by people. It helps your work to be seen by the right people and even the wrong people as well. But eventually the wrong people become like the right people because they are understanding your work, they are also enjoying your work, they're also seeing what you're putting out there, and they're learning as well from you, right? So I think that for you, first of all, there are a lot of things you can use for personal branding. There is LinkedIn, there is Twitter, there is GitHub. Also, tell your stories on GitHub. If you are a technical writer, if you are a writer, for instance, it's Medium, there is a Substack, literally telling your stories, and on these platforms, right? There are different things. You can never say that you don't have what to tell your stories. Always tell your stories. Go look for one platform and pitch your tent there. It could be Instagram, for instance. Pitch your tent there. Tell your stories about what you're building. Don't hide those beautiful things you're building. Always be very proud to share those moments with people out there. You know, and from there you begin to build your personal brand. You can build it from LinkedIn. You can build it from Twitter. You can build it from Snap, from TikTok. You can build it from anywhere really, but make sure people see you, outside of your CV. What is it with you outside your CV? What else do you have apart from your CV? People should be able to see that. So right, I think number two here is strategic networking, right? Not just random connections. You are networking. You know exactly why you're networking. For instance, some of us go for events and some of us go for events and we want to network with people. It's always so funny because when we go for these events, we are like, okay, I want to go and meet those big guns, those guys who have made it and stuff, those maybe those CEOs, CTOs and stuff. Unfortunately, sometimes we don't even get the opportunity to like meet them. How about you network with your peers? I can tell you guys that these guys on this call are going to give you that they most likely will be the ones to give you your next big client or your first big client, because guess what? They know what you are doing and they know you firsthand as well. So I always advise for young people to follow or to network with their peers, because your peers would obviously have something that you're looking for. Prioritize networking with your peers, even at events, before and networking with those big guns right there. That will really, 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 really help you. So don't just do random networking, do strategic networking. Identify specific, of course, this is a community as well. I'm sure you're already there. So shout out to all of you. You can join more communities, either Discord or Slack or Twitter spaces or groups, LinkedIn groups and everything, join those communities that are going to help you a whole lot, as you grow in your career. Um, I think I think that the other one is about storytelling. Storytelling your career journey, guys. I can't tell you how much storytelling means or can help you as a young person. You can talk about the likes of Ade Fair. I'm sure you know Ade Fair. If you have ladies, I think maybe males also follow Ade Fair as well. Ade Fair is a good example of a storyteller. She tells stories about her growth. She tells stories about her growth, and I can tell you for a fact that if you if the people are calling content creators in Nigeria right now, or maybe I know, or maybe Fisayo Fusudu, or maybe the guy that got married and is in Abuja right now. I don't remember his name. One of the content creators that got married recently, like last year, I think so. I don't remember his name. Anyways, um, but they tell stories. What happens? They tell story. They document their journey. They tell you stories that captures you. And now our brands want them to tell stories for them. So what you want to do, tell stories about yourself. How do you what problems do you solve? What problems have you solved before? And also how did you solve these problems? Let people know your journey. Let people know your thought process, right? And that will really, really help you. So sometimes once in a while, go ahead and maybe do a pitch, just do a video, maybe tell not necessarily a video for those of us who are shy. You can just do a story on your Medium. Medium is free, Substack is free, even your Twitter pages are free too. Do a thread, tell people about your journey, let people know your story. Look, for those of you who follow me on Twitter, all my clients that I work with right now are from Twitter. I've not sent any cold pitch to anybody. I've worked with about 50 clients, this year. They are all from Twitter. All from Twitter. You know why? Because they see the stories I tell on Twitter. And those are not fake stories. Those are not fake stories. Those are real life stories. They are not fake stories. They are real life stories. So people understand that, they follow it, and they buy to it. That's because I've been able to tell my stories very, very well there. And people understand me even better, right? From that point of view. So people know who I am. They know the problems I solve for them. So please, you need to be a storyteller. Tell stories about your career. Beyond your technical skills, guys. I can assure you that you need to put yourself out there. If not, well, nobody really sees you, except maybe you have your stuff, put out there, and then, I mean, maybe someone recommends you, maybe your friend recommends you. Peter, please, except maybe someone recommends you. That is how you, so long as it's not so personal, so that people don't use it against you, anyways. So storytelling your career journey is super, super important, as it's going to help you a whole lot in putting you out there. Um, I want you to also, beyond your resume, you need to be very strategic in your job applications. Okay, there are most of us here who will just apply for jobs because we want to apply for jobs. Dude, no, that is very wrong. I know that in Nigeria we don't really care, but bro, it is very bloody wrong. So what you want to do when you're applying for jobs is make sure you're strategic about that. Do not use one CV to apply for 100 jobs like most of us do right now. It is very unfair to you, first of all. I mean, imagine the manner of rejections you're going to be getting. I know say miracle no dey tire Jesus, but please now, please pity Jesus sef. Eh? Pity Jesus too. You can't use one resume to apply for 100 of, even the same, even two jobs are not the same. They have different requirements too. So you can't possibly use one resume to apply for 100. That's why sometimes you're getting that much, those many rejections, and you'll be crying and say, oh, you got else and everything. So please, guys, companies and position yourself around their needs. What do these guys need? What do these guys have? What can I get from these guys? For instance, you can even say, okay, you can even be stalking some guys. Like right now, it's the Jackpot season. People are leaving the country. I'm sure you have dream companies that you want to work for. Stalking them? Are you stalking their career pages? Are you stalking their LinkedIn? That is how you become strategic into getting these jobs, guys. That is simply how you get it, or you get around it, right? Um, Also, you need to use insider advantage. Guys, if you have any friend who works in the business that you want to possibly work at, please reach out to them. Tell them, be their paddy. If you have anybody maybe on LinkedIn, connect with them. Let them be giving you G's. Not necessarily, they cannot give you a lot of G's, but let them be giving you information. Oh, who's designing here? Oh, I think this is a role I want to get into. Stalk those guys. Really, really stalk them. Connect with employees there before even applying for the roles, so that they can help you. They can obviously help move your application forward. Of course, those things happen in corporate. Yeah, it happens in the corporate. Yeah. Um, and again, I can't overemphasize on this. Ensure that you tell your stories and you build a personal brand for yourself. You know, I think that one thing that the tech guys or the tech folks do not necessarily pay attention to are the soft skills. Most of us feel like, oh, we already have the hard skill, we already have the technical skill. What do I need soft skills for? Bro, you need soft skills like mad. You need soft skills like crazy. Okay. You need soft skills. Am I muted? No, I'm not muted. I'm not muted. You need soft skills, guys. You need soft skills like crazy. Okay. So please ensure that while you're gaining those massive technical skills, you're also growing your soft skills. You're also growing your soft skills. Your soft skills could be communication, effective communication. How do you communicate? Can you manage your stakeholders? Stakeholder management is also part of the soft skills. How do you manage your clients or how do you manage communication? These are like the simplest example of soft skills. That's it. As you're building your technical skills, please also build your soft skills. It's going to help you a whole lot in growing. Okay. Um, um, Also, I think that you need to first of all, um or lastly, rather, you need to have like I mean, the world is a global tech market. Right now it's a global tech market, and you don't need to necessarily just limit yourself to here in Nigeria. When you have done all of these things by maybe telling your stories, building soft skills, having like friends in organization, or maybe stalking them, and every other thing. You need to also position yourself for remote jobs and everything, you know, because the world is a global tech market, and you need to take advantage of it, right? Because there are remote roles everywhere right now, So you need to position yourself as, also when you're telling your stories, you need to ensure that you position yourself as a storyteller, as a global talent. Okay, I know that our internet doesn't allow us to compete in the global market, but please try as much as you can to compete, or to just stay there, stay relevant in that market. So when you're putting your CV together, when you're doing your CVs together, you're putting skills that can help you get on these roles and everything, right? Um, so just a recap, guys, because I have like just very limited time to speak to you here. One of the things you need to do to position yourself, away from your CV is, number one, you need to ensure that your CV can possibly get noticed. How to get your CV noticed is ensuring that you adapt it to the role you're applying for. Okay. Um, and you have to obviously build evidence, and value beyond obviously obviously maybe the one page resume or the 2 pages document and everything. Two is personal branding. You need to brand yourself very well, online. This is not the time for you to be shy. If I Google your name, for instance, I think that's what you should do first of all. If you Google your name, for instance, put your name on Google, what comes out? What can I see on Google? Maybe this is an assignment for you. If you go ahead and check your Google account, just put your name on Google. What can you find from there? That should tell you what you need to do. That means you need to fix your personal brand. Number three is you need to be very strategic when it comes to networking. Strategic networking is very, very important. So please do that, not just one random connections. Number four is storytelling your career journey. Ensure that you tell your stories, let people know about you. Your growth is going to help you a whole lot. Number five is strategic job applications. Ensure that you apply for jobs strategically, and number six is ensure that you build soft skills that will help you a whole lot in the job market, and it's going to make you stay competitive as well. And number seven is ensure that you take advantage of the global market. And lastly, for me, I want to leave you with one thing, guys. Storytelling can never go wrong in your career. Storytelling can never go wrong in your career. Okay. Personal branding can never go wrong in your career as well. Okay, to help people to know who you are. And if they think of people in this field, they're thinking of you first. I'm sure that if you're thinking of someone in the HR space right now, I'm probably going to come up with maybe the younger generation of people. I'm going to come up with maybe the top 5 or something. I don't know. I'm just saying, But if you Google my name, for instance, on Google, if you Google my name, for instance, on Google, you get to see who I really am there. That is personal branding for me. Okay. So what I want you to do today is what I want to take out of this today is you need personal branding to be able to stay relevant. Of this session for you particularly, do you just go ahead to insult people on Twitter? When I go there, will I see you as a banger boy, or a banger babe? If I go there, will I see you as maybe agenda king or agenda queen and everything? Go and audit that stuff, bro. Go and audit it. Check out those things. You don't need them. You don't need them. You don't need them anything. Except maybe you have your own money and you don't looking for money. But people see those things that you post. So be careful what you post. Tell people about yourself. Post about your career journey. Post also, tell your stories on social media, and position yourself properly for success. Guys, that's really just what I thought I should come and share here with you. I'll take questions right now. But before I even go, your resume is a snapshot of everything that you've got, right? Of everything that you have done. But strategic positioning is like, I think, it's like a film. It keeps going. It doesn't end. It doesn't end. We recruiters and also employers are we want to watch all of those your full stories. We want to watch those full stories. and you need to make sure that you're telling the stories. Be the one telling those. So nobody can tell your story for you. You can only be the one to tell your story. So we're looking forward to all those stories you can tell. I'll be on the lookout for any questions that you may have for me. Thank you so much for inviting me over here, guys. Thank you.
Thank you very much. That was a really insightful session, and I know that we've all learned a lot. Since the first speaker, we've had emphasis on two uh, social media platforms, LinkedIn and X. And like Felix said, let's make sure your brand is out there. You don't want to be a back end dev, but on X you're an agenda boy or a banger boy. All right. And so an icebreaker question, yeah. Heavily leaning into what you spoke about concerning personal branding, what then happens when you have like a similar name with someone, right? How do you rank above them SEO wise? How do you make sure, like you said, if you Google your name, I did a practice test now, and I saw results from Deaf First and all that. And so that means mostly came from an opportunity to speak, right? So for people who are shy, how do they make sure they get to rank there? Because most of the pictures I saw were from events, and also, how do you rank above those who have like the same name with you? I don't know if the questions were clear enough.
Oh yes, I got a question, but I can't. I'm not really a professional in the SEO space, right? But I think that what you can do for yourself right now is to um wait. What are the short forms of? I think this thing happened the other day on Twitter where Sheye and his friend, they were both, the friend Sheye Dele is Sheye Dele, right? And another person was something they something too, but they, I think it was Sheye. I don't know. I don't know what the names were, but they both had SB. That means the acronyms for their name were SB. So when you check Google for instance, you may see those two names similar. But Shea had already done like a lot of work, around his own name. So he had already, his name was SB already. If you check, go to Twitter, you might see SB on Twitter, and not Shea Daily. So he had already like put himself out there as to distinguish himself. I'm not a professional in the SEO space, and I really cannot help out in that place as much as I would love to. So I would like for you to maybe consult an SEO specialist. Perhaps he can help you or she can help you with that question. I hope I was helpful.
Okay, yes. And then when it comes to people who are, because like I said, my first search result was an event, promotional materials for an event I spoke at. So what if you are a shy person, right? How do you get around putting yourself out there enough for you to come up on a Google search?
Yeah, that's why I said, see, it doesn't have to be about your pictures. It doesn't have to be about your pictures. It could be about your personality. If you are shy, just be yourself. Just be yourself.
Hi, Felix. I think we've lost you network wise.
Okay, okay. I think, yeah, like Speed said, I think we've lost Felix. Okay, so one more question. I mean, this is the question that I would love to have posed to both Felix and Toby, and it's concerning cold
Guys, I'm so
outreach,
sorry.
right? Okay,
Hello, can you still hear
Felix is
me,
back.
please?
Yeah, we can hear
Yeah, I
you.
can hear you. Please go ahead. Thank you. Hello.
I'm so sorry. I missed your question. I think I mistakenly went off or something.
Okay, okay. I was asking, the second question was, there's a lot of talk about cold DMs, cold approaches, and all of that. How effective is it in the real life, right? As someone in the HR space, how much has other people sending you cold DMs led to their hiring? What do you have to say about it? Do you think it's something we should pursue? Do you think it's something that's effective? If it's effective, how do we improve the effectiveness of cold DMs? Basically, is it worth it?
See, like I said again, the tip is just, see. First of all, right, for cold emails to be very effective, look, you need to be a known, not necessarily a known person. You need to be known for something. Okay, what are you known for? What are you known for? Do you know how proud you're going to feel one day when you email somebody and say, "Oh, you can check me out on Google, for instance. I see my work." Do you know how proud you're going to be to actually get to that point? When you get to that point, do you know how proud you'll be? You'll be very, very proud. Okay, so it starts from that personal brand and positioning as well. Code emails you can send as 100 as maybe 101 code emails, and you may not even get feedback. So what you can do for yourself right now is, look, first of all, be known for something. Don't be like, not like popular or whatever, but be known for something, so that when those your cold emails reach, this person has emailed me, oh nice, let me check this person out. And finally, I mean, some days ago I just got like a call from um Sahara Group. I mean, I don't want to do 95. I don't want to do 95, right? Again, for now, but I told myself that if I'm going back to 95, I'm going to be going to the oil and gas, you know. And then on Thursday, yeah, the HR from Sahara Group reached out to me. Where did you see me from? How did you reach out to me? Oh, somebody told them about me. You know, that's how I didn't apply. I don't apply for jobs or anything. That's how they got through to me. Okay, but if you want your cold emails to work, I think what you want to do first of all, position yourself properly and be known for something, and then you can also when you're sending those your emails, ensure that you are as practical as possible. Look, tell your story in those emails, and also put evidence of your stories, of your of your stuff, what you're made of, what you have done before now. Put evidence there, and I assure you that those things are going to work. But be very, very strategic as well. Also be very open that you may not get responses, or you may get responses too. That's really all I can share around here.
All right. Thank you very, very much for um, the answers. Very insightful. I believe we've all learned a thing or two, right? And I just really want to remind us that everything we've shared and we are learning here is a multiplicative factor of what you carry as a person. The best way to multiply the effect of whatever we are learning here is to improve your core skill, right? But the beauty of the event is that it equips you with that multiplying factor. So at whatever skill level you are now, you can quickly implement as much as you can everything we've spoken about. He gave us some practical assignments. Go online, Google yourself, look at what comes up. I think if you have a properly filled out LinkedIn profile, I think your LinkedIn should come up first. If you have a good LinkedIn profile and Google yourself, your LinkedIn should come up first. So I would say if nothing comes up, work on a profile on LinkedIn, right? Build something there, and from there, put into practice everything that these big guys have shared with us. Felix talked about horizontal networking, and I want to emphasize on that too. Like he said, the CTOs and CEOs may not really have any reason to network with you at those events. But when you do peer-to-peer networking horizontally with your own guys, it's easier to reach out, right? A lot of the opportunities I had, I met one at an event, I took his number, I told him, boss, I beg, save my number. So if you push up for a status, I go see. Right? It's that simple, it's that easy. And it's easier to do that with someone that is your guy than you go to an event, you meet the CTO and you're telling him, boss, I beg, save my number, make I this. But with your guy, it makes more sense, right? And a lot of value was shared, and I want to once again appreciate all our speakers. What an hour and a half. My deepest gratitude to Ifunanya Audu, Tobechuku, Udogo, and Felix Bison for sharing their time and expertise with the GDG community today. And we are at the final segment. Before we close, I would like to bring our attention to our yearly event, um, Google Developer Groups Dev Fest. And it's one of the best things that would happen to you as a developer in Enugu. I'm going to be posting our link for speakers, call for speakers. If you would love to speak at the event, you can click on the link, and anything technology related at all. And this is going to be our 10-year anniversary. So it's a really, really awesome event. I mean, I can't overemphasize how important it is to have a community. We have many more events. I attended a lot last year. We're going to be having a lot this year too. So yeah, If you click the link, you should see the link to our community. Join up, whether it's a WhatsApp community group, register for to be notified for more events, and really just integrate yourself. Like all our speakers have said, put yourself out there. Thank you very, very, very much to our speakers for giving us so much of their time. Thank you to our guests. We appreciate you. We thank you for spending this much time with us. And that's going to be a wrap up of this event. Thank you very much. Lastly, like I promised, a networking session. Obviously, once I close this, you can leave. But for those who wish to stay back, you can post your Twitter link or your LinkedIn, whichever, post on the chat for everyone to see. I promise to follow everyone. I will stay back to follow everyone. And if you want to connect, please do well to follow everyone too. Thank you very much. And over to Miss Precious for any final information. Thank you, guys.
Hi everyone. I did not get my suit physically sharp, but this session has given me enough to be able to have something very proper. Thank you so much, Ifunaya. Thank you to Bitco and thank you, Felix. I've added your Twitter link so people can follow you and get more wisdom as they continue. Like every single thing Bethel has said, really, thank you for giving us your time today. And for our attendees, thank you for attending. Like Bethel has said, we have future events, so please follow us so that you can get to know about them. And if you plan on joining them first, see you at the first.
Thank you very much, guys, for the privilege to speak to this community. I'm looking forward to future events. Thank you very much.
All right, that's please do well to post your